All right, here we go. Week 6 in the books. We had a lot of close matchups, and sorry, my cat is extremely cuddly at the moment, so she's coming all over me. So I'm just gonna keep going, pretend that she's not here. So we're gonna get right into these matchups. A lot of close victories. Um, two right off the bat, and I know Juan said go ahead and leave his for last, so we're gonna go ahead and start with him. Juan got beat by Ryan Baker Gayfield by about 20 points. It was pretty close. Well, closer than it really looks like. And honestly, it kind of looks like, and Juan, in Juan's reasoning is kind of like his wide receivers just didn't show up. Everyone else kind of had a decent game except for Joe Mixon. Sam Laporta kind of hitting, just about 6 points. That's okay. Your flex kind of hit right there, so you're happy with that. My cat's ass is in my face. Figure, figure life out. Figure it out. Jalen Hurts, hitting his average, but yeah, Calvin Ridley and Puka Nakua, way underperformed. If these guys hit, then you're probably looking at your win right there. Um, I don't know really what happened with the Jacksonville game. I know the quarterback got hurt from what I can tell. So I wonder if that kind of affected it. And Puka, it kind of just seemed like they didn't really need him. I think they just got out on Arizona, and once that big league kind of started to build, everything kind of probably went Cooper Cup's way, and didn't need to continue to throw. Kind of just ran the ball. I'm gonna guess. But looking over at Ryan's team, scoring 108, definitely a balanced approach in Ryan's aspect. Um, Lamar Jackson getting his one passing touchdown, you kind of want a rushing one as well, but still just about hit his average, so you're kind of okay with that. Jamar Chase going under, but I think that was just an ugly game for Seattle. Seattle's got a weirdly good defense, but they walked out with the W. I'm sure that's all that matters. Devontae Adams did not perform at all. I really don't know what's going on with that Las Vegas offense, but something's up with it. You're expecting considerably more than that, so that's it's not good, not good. But your running backs both split almost exact scores, almost exact yardage too. So I mean that's right there with it. Travis Kelsey, you're happy with that 124. I mean Travis Kelsey's a fucking he's great. And then rounding out with his defense, scoring at 10. So very balanced attack for Ryan. Definitely could have been a lot higher if Devontae at least scored at least one, get up to 10, and I mean that's a balanced attack right there. So you're happy with that. We're gonna get into the next one. The one of the closest matchups was myself versus Orlando, and Orlando squeaked out that win. That one hurt, especially towards the end of that Dallas game. I thought I might have had a chance. The Dallas do a 25-yard fade to the touchdown for Pollard, and he barely missed it. So that would have swung the game in my favor. Justin Fields getting injured, like dislocating his thumb or some shit like that. So that kind of sucked. Um, I could have easily won if I literally had anybody else as my quarterback. The rest of my guys kind of were balanced. Tight end spot didn't hit, so that kind of sucks. Sucks. But everyone else was kind of balanced. It's just that quarterback spot really kind of screwed me. And then looking over at Orlando, he was led over by Justin Herbert and Tyreek Hill. I mean, those two guys you're gonna have in and out consistently every single week. Those are gonna be your players. Tyreek having a huge game, 163 and one touchdown. Justin Herbert, you kind of want more passing yards than that, but that's going up against a good Dallas defense, so you're not going to be mad at that. Um, DK Metcalf just under his average or his projection, so it's not terrible. Rashid White kind of fell under, but Detroit's got a really good defense, and I'm not too fond of many players on Tampa Bay. I think it's Baker Mayfield still quarterback if he's not injured, but mm. Josh Jacobs got the win in New England. Like I said, something's going on. I don't like that Raiders offense too much. But he just got under his projection, so that's not bad. Dallas Goddard hit just under his projection. It's flex. He kind of missed on that. DeAndre Hopkins, you want more than that. I know D Hop had a really great game last week, but like I said, it's Ryan Tannehill, and I think he actually got injured too. So that's going to be interesting going forward to see which way they're going to go with the quarterback over there. The kicker, Tyler Bass, didn't really hit, but they kind of didn't need him against the Giants. I think it was just an ugly game overall for them. And that Jacksonville defense coming in, it's 3 big interceptions, so you're thrilled to see that. But shout out Orlando for getting the win on me. I'm on a 3 game losing skid, so I'm not happy. So I need to figure it out. And then going into this week 7, I know it's gonna be pretty ugly with a lot of bye weeks happening on week 7. So I got some adjustments to do, but so does everybody else going into week 7. On to the next one, kind of like the another kind of close victory with less than 10 points. Tony edging out Travis. And it looks like Tony was led by 4 main guys, maybe 5 guys that kind of led the way with him. Dak Prescott having a really solid game against the Chargers. 272. I actually thought it was more than that, but hey, they got the win. I'm sure he's happy with that. Gabe Davis, this was kind of a fallout. I know Gabe Davis is much better than this. I have Gabe Davis in another league, and the game just did not go his way, unfortunately. So that's kind of like an outlier for Gabe Davis, unfortunately. AJ Brown, Tony recently just trading for AJ Brown. He showed out really nicely with 20 points. So that trade kind of worked out for you, and I think that really helped for that win for you. Kyron Williams getting injured on that game, but yeah, exactly what I said about the Rams game. They got it big and they just started rushing it. Unfortunately, he got injured, so you're gonna kind of want to see how that's gonna affect the running game or who's gonna be the starting running back leading forward. Oh, look at you, so cute. Damian Pierce, wow, 3 points. I don't know what's going on with that one, but I think I didn't even follow much of that game at all, so I can't really tell what happened on that. George Kittle, I mean, don't get me started with that Niners game. It was just disgusting, and Cleveland probably has the best defense in the league overall. Drake London, a great game for Drake London. I think it's probably his best game. Yeah, 12, 12 targets, 9 receptions. So you're thrilled with that. Honestly, that's a great game for Drake London. He's a great wide receiver. He just has a terrible quarterback. So this, if they even had a decent quarterback, this should be what he's getting very often. But it's a quarterback issue. I really don't like it that much. And Justin Tucker coming in massive, massive with some deep bombs. 1 to 40-49. That's big on that one. You're happy with 10 points on that, and he got you almost double that. So good job on Tony. Good job. Looking over at Travis, kind of he just went up against a really good team. Honestly, 116, 10 points over his projection. So you just went up against a good team in this one. Patrick Mahomes, kind of talking about him. He's not having that MVP season that we're all expecting Patrick Mahomes or a or a round 1 draft pick caliber player to have. I mean, you're happy with 24, but that's what you're expecting out of him week in and week out, and you're just not getting it. Devontae Smith, bad game against the Jets. Jets got a good defense, and I think they kind of had it out for Philly with being one of the 2 at the time remaining undefeated teams. And so they kind of came hard on those birds for that. Adam Thielen, dude, just continuing to be a great pickup. Just 27 points, continuing to feed him. And I was talking to Travis earlier about this. Carolina is actually going to be switching up their offensive coordinator, so I'm gonna be curious to see how Adam Thielen's usage in the offense is going to be leading forward. Derrick Henry, they needed Derrick Henry, 97 and a touchdown, so that's pretty good. 18.3, you're happy with that. Uh, Zeke Elliott getting his touchdown. And that's, yeah, well, I kind of thought Zeke was falling off, but he's still producing. You're definitely happy with that. Yes, best game of the year. So as long as he gets in that red zone and he scores for them, then and that's a good thing for your offense. Evan Ingram kind of breaking even. That's not bad. Good call on your flex. Getting Jacoby Myers in there. He's been pretty consistent for Vegas. So that's a good call on the flex. Then the kicker and the defense. Surprised Dallas kind of only put up 4 on that one, but I feel like Dallas and the Chargers know each other really well. So that was gonna be an ugly game, and it was an ugly game. So not too much happened offensively going on both ends, but hey, good job on Tony going 2-4. I know he was super happy about that. So good shit. Good shit. on to the next one. Kind of a blowout. Ooh, blowout. Robert scoring 117, and he beat his projection. But holy shit, Jonathan, with all of the trades as he's made, going 165 and just kind of going berserk on this week. So look over at Robert's team. I thought Lawrence got injured. He did. So it's going to be interesting to see what's going forward at that. I wonder how early in the game he got injured and if that affected the game much going forward. CD. Oh, man. Jesus. CD Lamb having a good game. 117 yards. You wish he had a touchdown on that. But honestly, going up against Jonathan's, it kind of wouldn't have mattered too much. And Antonio St. Brown, good game as well. 124 and a touchdown. So you're very happy with the performance at your wide receivers right here. You're not too happy with your performance at your running backs. Austin Ekeler coming back from that injury. Honestly, I mean, he's going to be a workhorse. Dallas, one of the best defenses in the league, especially stopping at the run. So it's kind of like an outlier game for Austin Ekeler. Like I said, coming off the injury, he's going to be fine going forward. James Cook, 71 rushing yards, no touchdowns. I mean, no receptions either. So you kind of want more out of James Cook, especially in that Buffalo offense with what's his name at quarterback, Josh Allen running the thing, and he should be dumping it off a little bit more to the running backs. But they didn't need it because they got the win. Mark Andrews breaking even. DJ Moore not having that blow up game like he did last week on me, so that's great. No touchdowns though, so you kind of wish you got that touchdown to kind of maybe change that game a little bit. And then McPherson in Baltimore, round it out. But Jonathan with the skyrocket game, and Jared Goff. Jared Goff's a home style quarterback. You want to play Jared Goff at home, and he said, "Nah, it's cool. I like Tampa Bay." And went for 353 and 3. That's a massive game. So huge W for Jared Goff on that. Cooper Kupp getting right back into it. 148 and 1. Massive 28 points. Stephon Diggs, who traded recently, just picked up, and that's a pretty good pickup right there. Kind of broke even with the trades going back and forth. Bijan Robinson, I mean, you're not mad about it, but you're also not happy. But also you scored 165 points, so you don't really care. And then Raheem Mostert just being the league leader in touchdowns. Like, this guy is just fucking crazy. I used to love Raheem Mostert when he was back on the Niners. I loved him so much because he was explosive. I remember he had like a 3-touchdown game against Green Bay in the playoffs, and just great. So I really like that guy. And he's thriving in that Miami offense, coming from the Kyle Shanahan system with the head coach being the offensive coordinator from last year. TJ Hawkinson, you're happy with that. He didn't hit his projection, but honestly, you're happy. And then Keenan Allen, 18. It was just an ugly game against Dallas. I wonder, 7 receptions. So yeah, he probably had about maybe 9 or 10 targets if I had to take a wild guess. Let's get 11. That was close. So good game. Good game. You're not mad at that. Jonathan being the league leader this week in score with 156. So that's going to stay consistent going forward, I can only imagine. And then the other closest game of the week, the undefeated, staying undefeated Alex, doing his best to almost lose against Roman. And it almost happened with Debo getting hurt and Christian McCaffrey. Dude, you were so lucky Christian McCaffrey scored in that first drive down for their offense, because if they didn't, you would have been screwed, and this would have been a W for Roman. But let's look at Rome's team real fast. Joe Burrow not really having the greatest game, but like I said earlier, they got the win in Seattle. Waddle, I'm blanking on his name. What's his name? Jalen Waddle having a decent game. He's getting a touchdown, but he's obviously not going to be Tyreek Hill. He does have the ability to explode in massive, like 151 games, not 51 reception yards, but he did get 7 receptions, so you're pretty happy with that. Brandon Ayuk, it was an ugly game against Cleveland, but he almost hit his projection. David Montgomery is probably going to be out for like at least 2 weeks from what I can tell from all the news coming out. So you might want to make an adjustment right here for that. It was just a bad game for them. Well, for him, team won, but I'm not really sure how he got injured or whatever. Cam Akers, you'd expect a little bit more out of Cam Akers, especially with the way that Minnesota is running the ball. You kind of expect a little bit more out of him, but it's just not happening, unfortunately. And Kyle Pitts getting I think it's like first touchdown of the year, if I'm not wrong, or maybe it's his second. Kyle Pitts is a good player. I just don't like their quarterback. That's a quarterback issue, but you're happy with 12 points, honestly. Jackson Smith and Jigba, ugly game against Cincinnati. I really don't know how their quarterback did for Seattle. Kind of didn't look like it was too great for them, but you know, it is what it is. But you're thrilled with your kicker getting you 17, and you're thrilled with your defense going up against Philly as well, putting up 11. That's massive with 3 interceptions. I think just Jalen Hurts had a really bad game, but at least y'all beat Philly, so good shit. Fuck them, fuck the birds. Going over to Oso's team, like I said, doing his best to almost lose. Josh Allen not having a great game against the Giants, but they got the win. You definitely expect at least 250. 250 should be Josh Allen's floor throwing the ball. Deebo Samuel getting hurt early in the game, and that really affected it for the Niners. Shoulder problems, but he should be fine going forward. Release everything coming out. He should be okay for Monday's game. Chris Godwin hitting his projection. Christian McCaffrey, like I said, you're lucky he scored early, because if not, he was kind of pretty much useless going forward after that. In and out of the lineups with a rib injury. But Travis Etienne did the heavy lifting for you. 2 rushing touchdowns. That's massive, especially with such small yardage. You're expecting, I mean, shit, you'd be happy with 75 and 1, but 2 and 55. I mean, you're not going to complain about the score. Cole Kmet, tight ends are just trash. Either they're great or they're not. And this week it was not for you. But you kind of clutched up right here in your flex. Isaiah Pacheco sealing it off. You're expecting a lot more actually usage. I think he was one of the top projected players of the week going up against Denver's terrible defense, and that they didn't really need it too much. I mean, I guess I really don't know what's going on with KC's offense. Like I said, going over Patrick Mahomes, it should be doing way better. It shouldn't have been 19-8. It should have been more like 29-8. But hey, they got the win. I'm sure they're happy on that. Your kicker broke even, just under, and then you're happy with the defense. 4 sacks, 2 interceptions. Okay, yeah. So Russell Wilson played like shit then. So that's why. But it is what it is. But congrats again to the winners of the week: Orlando, Ryan, Tony, Jonathan, and Oso staying undefeated. Since it is a new league, let's go ahead and take a look at the standings real quick. Also, still at number 1, 6-0, undefeated. Baker Mayfield coming in at second with 4-2. And then you got what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players, all in the span of 3-3, and they're separated by about, what is that, 60, maybe 70 points or so. So hey, everyone right here, you're in contention. Playoff spot cuts off right here. That's where you want to be. This and up. But like I said, I'm on a 3-game losing streak, so I need to figure my shit out. Travis also on a 2-game losing streak, and then these are just single losses. But Orlando turned it around, gaining 2 wins. And then Dynaco, nuts and bolts, and then Roman leading off at back. Roman on a bad skid. Sorry, Roman. I don't know what's really going on with your team, man. It's not great, but that's gonna be it for this week, guys. Good job. Like I said, going into week 7, it's gonna be very weird scoring with so many people having a lot of guys on bye weeks for week 7. This is one of the big weeks, and I think the other big week coming up is like either 10 or 11 or something like that, where there's a lot of teams on bye. So shout out to the winners, and then get ready to play the waiver wires. Get your guys ready for the week, and we should have a good week 7 going into it. Probably gonna be ugly, but it is what it is. So good job, guys. Congrats, and cheers to a week 7.